Hey, what's up, everybody? BO44 coming at you in another video. All right, so I just got through doing my squat regimen. It took about an hour or so. I feel pretty good. And I was listening to As It Stands talk about Austin Reaves and the different things that could come about in regards to him in free agency with us, the Lakers. And it just took my mind down a rabbit hole of what would consider Austin Reaves' options would be, or how I often do when free agency comes about. My mind and the gears in my head start to churn. And as I was doing my last set, I was just thinking, you know what? It makes a lot of sense to try to put myself in Austin's shoes, I guess you can say, and consider what his best options would be in free agency. Now, the key that I'm looking at if I'm Austin is, man, I just came off that big game. I just got through saving the Lakers season, so to speak. Stepped up when AD didn't. LeBron ain't on the floor. He ain't healthy. This is leverage for me. This is a lot of leverage in regards to me getting a contract that I'm comfortable with. I want security and I want bucks. I don't know how old Austin is at this point, but this is his sophomore season, and he's already showing ridiculous, improvement and a certain level of continuity and a fluidity to his game that allows him to pretty much play on any floor with any team, a length to his game that allows him to be successful on in circumstances where he needs to rebound and get to the line and all this different stuff that just makes him a attractive player to most NBA circumstances, if you ask me. Now, and he's living off of a lot of hype that comes with all the different circumstances that are attached to his name, including the Lakers, playing with Bron, the Caruso aspect of things. All of it comes together to just put him in a position to be up for a big payday and a lot of security. And it really comes down to, do you sign a contract that pulls you away from the Los Angeles Lakers if you're Austin Reaves? Now, I always tell guys to take the money. They got all different types of provisions and different things that they can offer guys that make it really, really sweet. He's going to be a restricted free agent, so whatever it is that he signs, the Lakers could match, and because of it, some of the Lakers' enemies or whomever could give Austin Reaves a poison pill contract that will undoubtedly be too expensive for the Lakers to not only sign but actually manage. And that would be the purpose of it, is to kind of just pull away one of those key pieces from the Lakers, or to put them in a position to take the flexibility to remove us entirely from the NBA contending world, which is something that teams do to each other all the time. Given the fact that the Lakers are in a position to kind of always take things from others, you would just imagine that someone would want to do that to us. Of the 30 teams in the league, somebody is probably going to want to give Austin Reaves a poison pill contract, not only because it would undoubtedly hurt the Lakers, but because he's a player who, from where he's at, could probably play into that contract. When you think of guys like James Harden, when he signed his contract with the Houston Rockets, the first one he signed, I don't remember what they gave him, but it was crazy for what it is that you thought he was at the time. But when it finally played itself out, it was one of the best contracts in the world. That's the kind of thing that you can bank on with Austin Reaves. If you end up overpaying him, you can almost count on him, being in his prime when the contract ends, or entering his prime when the contract ends, based on his age. And therefore, I just think it's a chance that he's going to get offered something that pulls him away from the LA Lakers. And the question is that what he wants? I don't think most players want to leave the Lakers, because there are so many different things that can contribute to you getting paid outside of what goes on the court. Different aspects of this, this market that just allows for more endorsement opportunities. I understand that Austin Reaves more or less tried to leverage himself away from the draft so that he can be a Laker. That's one of the things that was mentioned in the content that I just watched. And so, there are a lot of different things that you could look at in regards to that. Maybe a guy really wants to be here, or maybe he wants to start his career off in a position to where he can get the leverage to get this type of contract that he's going to be offered. And he saw the Alex Caruso path and probably figured it would be wise for him to try to take that path too. I think that's probably what he was doing. This is a very smart person. We're talking about Austin Reeves. So for me, it's like I'm not sure that him leveraging his way to the Lakers was necessarily about anything other than him being able to be this good at this time so that he can get somewhere and really sign a poison pill contract and make himself some money. Who knows? You know what I mean? But I think at the end of the day, it's up to him. And also, depending on how he feels about things, it's up to the front office. They have to prove that there's somebody he should want to invest in that way. At the end of the day, we all have to condition our minds to understand that athletes are too investing in these teams. Because a lot of times, if it's done correctly, they have to take some sort of pay cut in order to play on a team that's strong enough to win. Or otherwise, they're kind of drawing away from it. Now, a lot of players don't give a dang, man. They eat up your whole cap, and you just put together whatever you can, and they believe in their own talent to carry it home. But at the end of the day, if you're really trying to win a champion, if you're trying to create a championship team, you can't be swallowing poison pills as franchises. You just can't do it. The pill itself is designed to make it so that you're not good enough to win a championship. So even if you love the player, it's not gonna work. See, and that's what people need to understand. When you say poison pill, that's exactly what it is. It's meant to kill you. Like, you're not gonna be able to build nothing around that player if it is indeed successful in being a poison pill. So as I was sitting there doing my squats thinking about that, I think, well, if I'm Austin Reeves, it's like, well, it depends on how the Lakers are moving. Are they going to be making good decisions going forward? Am I still going to be playing with Bron and AD? What are the changes that are going to be made with this front office? If for some reason they remove these stars or these guys aren't healthy, am I still going to be in a situation I'm happy with? Versus the money and the guarantees and all of the different various things that come with a really, really, really poisonous contract, which is going to be very, very fruitful for the player. Until he finds himself in a situation where he realizes that he wants to win and he cannot because he's a poison pill. And that can be a lot of trouble when you consider chemistry and various things in the locker room. They look at you and you're not holding up your end of the bargain. How many times have we seen that around the league? I don't think Austin Reeves is going to have that problem because he's such a good player. But what we've also seen is him being in situations where, he hasn't played very well. He's still a developing player. So what you don't want to do is sign him to a poison pill and then find out he can't be the difference between winning and losing as a poison pill. So that's why you don't do that. Now, I believe he can be the difference, and I think he's going to play up whatever contract he's given eventually because I think he's a heck of a player. And my belief in him is much higher than the consensus. But at the same time, it's like that doesn't necessarily mean I think it's wise to have him on a bad contract because it's, at the end of the day, a bad contract. There are a lot of great players attached to bad contracts that I do not want. If they get on good contracts, I want them. And he would be no different. So that's what you have to look at it. You can fall in love with a player, but once he's on a bad contract, but he's on a bad contract, and that affects his teammates, and it affects how bad your team's gonna be. So I can't sign Austin Reeves or anybody else to a bad contract. But if I'm Austin Reeves, I have to consider if signing a bad contract isn't a good thing for me. Now, I was listening to Chandler Parsons. He was telling the world that he didn't think that the Lakers had any chance of signing Austin Reeves because the most that we can offer him at this point is $50 million for 4 years, which is really good for Austin Reeves before last night's game. But now that that game took place, I think he can hike that up quite a bit, just given the overall circumstances we're in. Now there's still 10 games to play plus playoffs. A lot can happen, but at the end of the day, if you look at the fullness of what he's done up to this point, he's probably going to be able to get more than that, just in general. So I think the Lakers, from their point of view, they should probably be trying to free up cap space. I'm looking at a couple of guys. One, most importantly, is definitely Malik Beasley. When we've talked about that, at his price tag, it's just not reasonable anymore. Not just for this team, but for any team. He shouldn't be on that price tag. So when that expires, that will definitely not be something he probably gets again. Unfortunately for him, unless he can string together a hell of a lot more makes than he's been making with the Lakers as of late during this crunch time where we really need to win. And he's a big problem, unfortunately, for our circumstances down there. So, I hate to word it that way, but that's just what it is. And I think that works also in Austin's leverage in a sense. It's like, all right, so what are y'all gonna do? Are you gonna overpay me? You know what I mean? You see how much I'm able to kind of mask some of the issues or other situations you got going on the floor. That's one of the things Austin could definitely say to the Lakers when they talk about whatever contract they offer. Keeping Malik Beasley is something that I would leverage against the Lakers. Like, look, If you're gonna have him at $16 million, you definitely want me on the team. You definitely, that kind of thing. It's like you probably want to move him and keep me, that kind of thing as well. So I think that's what the Lakers should be doing. There ain't no question about that, man. It just is what it is. Austin Reaves is somebody we need to be moving forward, and I don't want that $16 million in the way of us keeping him. It can't be that. We got to trade him in the offseason immediately if he signs that deal. If he opts into that 16, which undoubtedly he should, because that's $16 million he ain't going to get again. So you can count on Malik Beasley being traded in the offseason if the Lakers are serious about keeping Austin Reaves. That's just cut and dry. I'm telling everybody that right now. That goes without saying. And so, yeah, and it may cost to get rid of it, just like Westbrook. It may. As bad as he's shooting, it may. So these are the type of things like, damn, man. When they started paying shooters like that, the premium on shooters was ridiculous. They were giving these guys money left and right just because they could shoot. Now it's like, that ain't the game we're in. That's not even how they value shooters anymore. And some of them contracts are not even over with. It's still happening. So as we talk about poison pills and stuff like that, that's kind of why you don't, because the game can change and suddenly the pieces don't matter as much anymore. The overall consensus of what it is that dude is valued at, it looks horrible for you. And the funny thing is, we said that about them shooters then, but they did it anyway. So I think that's what we're kind of looking at is him on a contract that was kind of inflated based on the way people were looking at shooters around the pandemic. So, yeah, man, I'm just sitting here really, really thinking about Austin Reaves and how we can keep him. That's the best way to do it. Not overpaying other people is another very key thing. Prioritizing him over others is the definite most important thing, which is why I've been saying that over the last 24 hours. He's my priority. I know D'Lo's a better player, but Austin's the priority. You got to keep that dude, and we all know it. And the team that's going to have him sign a poison pill knows it too. So at the end of the day, it's up to him. It's up to him. Because the one thing that I said when I was, listening to As It Stands speak about it was, there's more where that came from. Meaning, we found Alex Caruso, we found THT, we found Austin Reaves, we find all these guys, and we will find more. So we can't overpay any of them. We got to keep our flexibility, trust our scouts, and have them continue to bring us talent like Austin Reaves and Caruso and THT and all these guys. And the ones that we can keep through free agency, we keep. But the ones we cannot, we don't let teams give us poison pills that destroy our franchise to keep talent that we find. We can't do that. You know what I mean? That's what it really comes down to. And look, I don't want to see another one of these guys leave. I was mad when Caruso left. I definitely don't want to see Austin Reaves leave. But I don't know if it's wise for him to take $50 million when he's playing like this after a game like that. If he can keep this level up, $50 million is not enough money to make him whole. Not with who he's going to be. It's not. So the Lakers are going to have to free up more if possible, which it is. It's definitely possible. You can free up a whole $16 million right there. Gone. Get that out of here. And make sure Austin Reaves is whole. If we do that, I think we keep him. Now, I don't know if you give him the whole 16 on top of whatever he's getting. Hell no. We ain't trying to price ourselves out the game for Austin Reaves. But if we can hike it up more than 50 to make it look sweeter for him to stay, I think that's obviously the best way to go. You're going to have to pay him more than 50, so pay him more than 50. You know what I mean? Don't have him go out there signing some poison pill because he's trying to leverage himself above that normal consensus for a level of play that he's not even going to play at, and we know it. Don't have him at 50. He's better than that, obviously. So free up more. And if you can't free up more, be ready to lose him. And that's something you should have already been ready for, which is why we were talking about trading anybody that we weren't going to be re-signing. This is the type of stuff that I was very much intent on preventing us even being a part of, because you can retain whatever Austin Reaves' value was rather than let him walk for nothing just simply because you can't afford to keep him. You'll never let yourself get to that point. It's how we got as bad as we got, letting people walk, not being smart enough to make quick organizational decisions, which has been the theme we've been talking about over the last 24 hours here. So they messed up Austin Reaves' contract. We talked about that. Almost a year ago, we talked about how they should have signed him to a 3-year deal. And they signed him to 2, and here we are. They did the same thing with several other players as well, and that's why we ended up losing those guys. So what we're looking at here with Austin Reaves coming into his free agency right now is literally an error of the front office. It absolutely is. He's supposed to be a free agent next year. So I don't know if they consider it an error, because they might have structured it that way so that they can keep other things intact, which is something that's noteworthy. But at the end of the day, it was ill-advised, especially given the fact that we had lost a player we wanted to keep, doing it that way. So it's ill-advised. I do want us to keep this player. I don't want him to sign a poison pill, not only for the betterment of our team, but I know better, man. When I was listening to Chandler Parsons say what he was saying about how he thinks he's going to leave, I was saying, Chandler, it's irony. It's deep irony. But I think there's a good chance he's not going to be offered a crazy contract because of Chandler Parsons. Chandler Parsons is why he's not going to get that contract. Because at the end of the day, Chandler Parsons was the guy who was the right baller, who could really, really ball, signed a super poison pill contract, and then got hurt, stayed hurt, and that money just dissipated. They just had to pay it. I think it was Memphis who's absorbed the most of that garbage. It was absolute trash. And then you follow that up with Gordon Hayward and his bad contract and injury issues. I'm telling you, that environment could affect Austin Reaves just in general because of how he looks, unfortunately, how he's built. His height, his skin, it is what it is. He's like those guys in a lot of people's eyes, and I think that's the leverage against him. So if you're the Lakers, you hope he'll accept 50 based on that. And teams will kind of scare away typecasting him or stereotyping him, however you word it, as one of them dudes. But, Chandler Parsons getting on TV saying that, I chuckled. I'm like, bro, listen, you signed a contract to tank the Rockets. I mean, tank them to hell. And if anybody keeps Austin Reaves from getting a big old contract, it's you. Straight up. That needs to be said, man. I ain't forgot that. Tanked that team. And we knew he was tanking that team when he signed that damn thing and then got hurt. I'm like, bro, you ain't no $150 million player, bro. You know that. That was crazy. I think he thought he was gonna be Sean Marion. I don't know, man. But that was a poison pill of the highest order. And so we ain't signing nothing like that, man. Even though I don't think Chandler Parsons. He ain't no Chandler Parsons. He's better than Chandler Parsons. But that type of thing is in the air, and it's going to affect his price tag. I know it is. It definitely is. So that's just something we're looking at, man. You don't know how things are going to work in or out of someone's favor. You don't know. But one thing we do know is $50 million for the player that helped us get through that game last night when Anthony Davis ain't hardly do nothing on the offensive end. He can barely get 15 points out of that dude, and he went for 35, 6 and 6. Yeah, $50 million at the price is not the same price, man. Yesterday's price is not today's price as it pertains to Mr. Austin Reaves. So pony up, Lakers, or be prepared to lose yet another fantastic talent that probably, if you keep him throughout the duration of his career, will probably help you win the championship. He probably will. So that's something the Lakers need to really consider. So that's what I want to say, man. But at the end of the day, we know if he's on a poison pill, it's going to be very, very difficult to build that champion. So we got to keep the balance, man. And look, poison pill contracts, they get moved around, dude. So if a player is going to sign one of those, he better know that wherever he's signing, you're likely going to be getting the hell out of there by the end of that contract. So that's what I want to say, man. Good luck to Austin Reaves in his free agency. Good luck to the Lakers in re-signing him. Good luck to all these other teams that think we're not going to do the same thing to you if you try to take him from us. We will find a way to do that to you in a future season. So just know that people need to stop doing bad stuff to each other in these NBA markets. It's hard enough to build teams. Stop giving each other poison pills, man. It's bad business. And it makes for a bad product when you tank teams. It really does. So that's what I want to say, man. Let's keep parity. Let's keep balance. Let's do things properly within all the 30 teams. And I promise you, you'll have a better product. My name is BDO44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.